Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Welcome to the graduation ceremony at the University of Akron. Please take a moment now to identify the nearest exit to you so you can safely exit the building if it should become necessary to do so. Out of respect for the dignity of this ceremony, we ask that you turn off your cell phone, pager, or other personal communication or entertainment devices. Please refrain from using personal communication devices during the ceremony. Thank you for your cooperation and understanding of this request. Our graduation ceremony will begin in a few moments.
Will the candidates please be seated? President Wilson, the candidates are assembled.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It is my privilege to extend to you a very cordial welcome to all who have joined us for the 2017 commencement ceremony of the University of Akron School of Law. Today we are gathered in formal convocation to celebrate the 93rd commencement exercises of the University of Akron School of Law. Will you please rise and join Professor Carolyn Desson, one of our own, in the singing of our national anthem. Please be seated. I would now like to ask School of Law Co-Dean Sarah Cravens to extend her greetings and introduce the members of the stage party. Dean Cravens.
Members of the Board of Trustees, President Wilson, University Vice Presidents, Deans and other officials, School of Law faculty colleagues, members of the 2017 graduating class, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us at this commencement. Welcome, graduates, and congratulations. This class is the 93rd to graduate from the school since its founding in 1921 as the Akron Law School. Today, the school will increase the ranks of its alumni to 8,062. On your journey to this achievement, you have been supported in so many ways by your parents, spouses, friends, and other loved ones. In many cases, they have worked and sacrificed much to help you achieve this dream. So it is appropriate that we begin by inviting the families and friends of our graduates to please rise and let our graduates recognize you. Please be seated. Before introducing members of the platform party, I would like to ask you to recognize the representatives of our distinguished faculty who are with us today. Will our faculty please stand? We are honored to have with us special guests and members of the Board of Trustees of the University of Akron. I request that they stand as I call their names and remain standing, and that you hold your applause until all have been introduced. From the Board of Trustees, Vice Chair Mrs. Olivia P. DeMoss of Richfield, Trustees Mr. Warren L. Wolford of Akron, Mrs. Jennifer E. Blickel of Akron, and Dr. Alfred V. Seraldo of Akron. We are also honored to have with us today Mr. Michael Giordano, Senior Vice President of Business Affairs at 20th Century Fox Television, and joining us to receive an honorary degree, Mr. Ted Mallow, General Counsel Emeritus. We will hear more about these distinguished guests later. Now please join me in greeting our trustees and special guests. Representing the University of Akron administration are President Matthew J. Wilson, the 17th president of the university, Senior Vice President and Provost, Dr. Rex D. Ramsier, Vice President for Student Affairs, Dr. John A. Messina, Chief Diversity Officer and Associate Vice President for Inclusion and Equity, Ms. Jolene Lane, Chief of Staff, Ms. Barbara Weinzerl, Co-Dean of the School of Law and University Orator, Ryan G. Vaca, and University Grand Marshal and Associate Professor of Law, Mr. Richard C. Cohen. Please join me in greeting these individuals. Finally, we are pleased to have with us on the stage other important members of the university family. President of the Law Alumni Association, Ms. Megan France Oldham, class of 2005. Randolph Baxter, Professor of Law and Hooder, Mr. Martin H. Belsky. Professor of Law and Hooder, Mr. C. Allen Newman. President of the Student Bar Association, Haley Martinelli. Editor-in-Chief of the Akron Law Review, Rebecca Schreiner. And our vocalist, Aileen McMurray Tressler, Professor of Law, Ms. Carolyn L. Dessen. Let us welcome them. I now ask Trustee DeMoss of the University of Akron's Board of Trustees to extend greetings on behalf of the board.
Thank you, Dean Cravens. Good afternoon. On behalf of the University of Akron Board of Trustees, I offer a warm welcome to our guests and especially to the 2017 School of Law graduating class. Graduates, you are the primary reason why this university exists, and we thank you for entrusting us with your legal education. You had many options from which to choose, and we sincerely hope your Akron experience has proven that you chose wisely. In addition to convening our gratitude, we want you to know that we appreciate and applaud your accomplishments here. Through great effort and perseverance, you have seized opportunities to broaden and sharpen your thinking, expand your worldview, attain professional and personal growth, and become educated citizens. Now you will have more and greater opportunities to thrive, to contribute, and to serve. My fellow trustees and I wish that the journey ahead awaiting you will be filled with good health, good fortune, and will from time to time lead you back here to your alma mater. We are honored to join with your families, friends, and faculty in celebrating this important milestone. Congratulations.
So the University of Akron School of Law is honored to welcome Michael Giordano as our commencement speaker today. Mike currently serves as Senior Vice President of Business Affairs at 20th Century Fox Television. In this role, Mike is responsible for negotiating and overseeing key business terms for development and production, above-the-line talent, program license, co-production, rights and format deals, as well as writer and producer agreements. Since joining Fox as Vice President in 2013, Mike has become the primary deal maker for many of the studio's live action and animated shows, including Bones, The Simpsons, Fresh Off the Boat, Life in Pieces, Bob's Burgers, Arrested Development, and Lee Daniels' Empire companion series, Star. Prior to joining Fox, Mike was a business affairs attorney and executive at William Morris Endeavor Entertainment and director of business affairs at CBS Entertainment. In those roles, Mike negotiated deals covering scripted, alternative, and reality shows such as The Big Bang Theory and America's Next Top Model, as well as worked closely with agents and clients in the talent, literary, non-scripted, motion picture, digital, and music departments. Before starting his illustrious entertainment career, Mike was a real estate lawyer in the Los Angeles office of the law firm Paul Hastings, where he worked on hotel purchase agreements, resort management contracts, and loan and finance documents. Mike received his BA with honors and distinction in philosophy, politics, and economics from Pomona College, and his JD from Harvard Law School, where he served as president of the Committee on Sports and Entertainment Law and as an articles editor for the Journal of Law and Technology. But I knew Mike before he did any of this, before making sure The Simpsons was still on the air, before attending award shows and hobnobbing with celebrities. In the summer of 1999, Mike and I were intern investigators for the Public Defender Service in Washington, D.C. Mike worked on homicide cases, and I worked on kidnapping and assault cases. And perhaps it was our mutual interest in entertainment law, or perhaps it was our joint realization that we wanted nothing at all to do with criminal law that connected us. Whatever it was, though, we became fast friends and have remained so for the past 18 years. So without further ado, it's my great pleasure to welcome Mike Giordano as this year's commencement speaker.
Thank you, Ryan, or should I call you Dean Vaca, for your very kind introduction. My one clarification would be to address what brought us together during our DC summer nearly 20 years ago. In addition to our shared law-related interests, I recognized early on that Ryan was very special. He had a drive and a focus that few other students our age possessed, which made me want to spend more time with him. I believe the students here have been fortunate to have you as a professor. Thank you. I also want to thank the University of Akron School of Law, its administration and faculty, and especially the graduates sitting in front of me who have put in years of hard work to get here. I applaud you and your friends and families who've supported you on your journey, and I want to congratulate you all for making it this far. Speaking to you today is special for me in more ways than you might imagine. In fact, I don't even think Ryan knows this. I was unable to attend my own law school graduation due to a death in my family. So in a way, I'm looking at this as my own opportunity to experience a law school graduation ceremony along with all of you here today. It is truly an honor. I really wish I could share with you nuggets of wisdom as you begin your journey as attorneys. But if I'm being honest with you, I'm really not that wise. And though I am a law school graduate and a member of the California Bar, I'm not exactly a practicing attorney either. As a business affairs executive, I use skills I learned in law school every day, but it's a job that might not be on somebody's radar straight out of law school. If I've learned anything along my path, it's that a law degree really does have broader applicability than you might realize. It might not seem that way as you sit here today at your graduation, but I swear it's true. And that, I fear, may be the biggest piece of wisdom I have for you. Because as much as I want to help provide the aha moment that's going to spark your perfect career, there are days I'm still looking for that myself. For as many things as I've done right in my career, I've done just as many wrong. As I sat with this thought, I recalled what I'd seen Robert Downey Jr. say in an interview when he was reflecting on how he had gotten past his earlier life challenges with addiction. As a side note, in my first draft of this speech, I had accidentally mistyped the word addiction as addition, and when I showed the draft to a friend, he couldn't understand why Robert Downey Jr. had faced so many challenges with basic math. Anyway, back to what Iron Man said. Good judgment comes from experience. Experience, unfortunately, often comes from bad judgment. Now, he, of course, wasn't the first one to say that or think of that, but with that in mind, I've decided to share with you two stories of my own bad judgment. One small and funny one, and one, well, not as small and definitely not as funny, in an attempt to impart to you some kind of useful wisdom. Spoiler alert, do as I say, not as I did. My first story is from my very first job as an entertainment executive. I was hired at CBS barely a year out of law school, having practiced real estate law for about 9 months in downtown Los Angeles. I didn't particularly love the work at the firm, and so I spent most of my off hours, and some of my office hours as well, trying to network my way back into the entertainment industry. I say work my way back because I had spent a year as an assistant at a talent agency between college and law school. I knew Hollywood was where I wanted to be, but as some of you understand, getting your dream job straight out of law school is nearly impossible. My networking worked, but perhaps it worked a little too well, because when I started at CBS, I was not qualified for the job. I'd been referred by a friend from my days as a talent agency assistant. Another piece of advice here, become friends with people who have the jobs you want. And I had hit it off with the network's head of business affairs, who hired me, admitting to me that I had 3 things she was looking for. She thought I was smart, I was eager, and I was cheap. Because I was so inexperienced for the job, I spent most of my energy trying to hide the fact that I had no idea what the hell I was supposed to be doing. Seriously, it took me a week to realize that there was actually a bathroom on the floor where I was working. I had been at CBS for barely a week when I was given my first deal to negotiate. The president of the network at the time was a huge fan of Betty White, and we wanted her to join one of our shows as a special guest star. The deal could not have been simpler, because CBS at the time paid every special guest star the same exact amount of money. So I followed protocol. I called her agent. I made the requisite small talk in an attempt to form some sort of a connection with him, though there was admittedly not a lot that I, a 27-year-old newbie, had to say to a 60-year-old agent who had just divorced his third wife and whose idea of fun was getting his knee replaced, and I made him an offer for Betty White. 2 days later, my boss asked me to send the agent a follow-up email to try to get an answer before an upcoming staff meeting. A few hours later, just as I was heading out for the meeting, I received a short email from the agent. I'm sorry to have to deliver bad news, but Betty White has passed. There wasn't enough time for me to pass the news along to my boss before the meeting began, so she heard it from me in the meeting, along with the network president and 20 other senior executives, as I announced to a room full of gasps that Betty White, at the age of 80-something, had died. Okay, I see some of you are a little confused. Betty White is still alive today. At least she was when I wrote this speech last week. The problem, of course, is that I hadn't understood the industry jargon. So when I read that she had passed in the context of her agent's reference to bad news, I jumped to a very wrong conclusion. In any case, my embarrassing mistake leads me to some advice that may contradict what you typically hear. Others might tell you to fake it until you make it, but I say, don't be afraid to ask questions, particularly your first few years out of law school. The people you're working with are well aware that you have a lot to learn, and they'd rather teach you than wait until you stupidly assume that a famously beloved mature actress has died. I'm now in a position where I oversee 5 or 6 attorneys and executives, and I can assure you that I'd prefer to be asked a question, an extra question, in advance, instead of having to fix someone's avoidable mistake later on. Of course, they should be thoughtful questions, and do use the resources available to you to research the answers in advance. And of course, try not to ask the same question to the same person more than once, I guess unless you really don't know where the bathroom is. But smart questions from people looking to learn are valuable, not just to the person asking them, but also to the organization as a whole. I've changed deals I've been drafting or responses I've given to people I'm negotiating with in the wake of thoughtful questions from junior attorneys that have shed light on flaws, inconsistencies, or unfairness in our practice. In fact, at Fox, it had long been the case that the creative executives spoke a slightly different language than the business executives, which sometimes led to miscommunications between the departments. But the process by which creative executives ask us to make deals for them has been streamlined and substantially improved in the wake of a string of questions asked by my former assistant, who is now a junior executive in our department. I worked at CBS for just over 3 years, Betty White making me temporarily infamous in the network halls early on. And the second story I'll tell you made me just as infamous right after I left. One of the most interesting aspects of a career in Hollywood is the opportunity, the ability, heck, in many cases, even the necessity to interact with a wide variety of people at other companies who do very different jobs from yours, but whom you may one day need to negotiate either on behalf of or against. These are agents, actors, managers, producers, writers, directors. The list goes on. Sometimes even the janitor is pitching a reality show, but that's a story for another day. For the first few years of my career, I tried to have lunch with somebody new virtually every day. When you meet this many people, if they like you, invariably somebody is going to try to talk you into changing jobs. Sometimes they're genuinely looking to help you find something better for yourself, but many times they're just trying to win points with the bosses at the place they're trying to get you to move to. Poaching a competitor, even a lawyer in a creative industry, can seem like a big win. At one such lunch, I met a producer who had his own moderately successful TV and digital production company. He had previously been a top entertainment attorney and later the chairman of a major broadcast network. He was credited with helping to develop the idea for Lost and making the final decision to put Grey's Anatomy on the air. And he had the reputation of brilliance, charisma, and undying determination, with a dash of unpredictability and even ruthlessness when necessary. Over pasta and salad at his favorite lunch spot, he he sprung on me the opportunity to leave CBS to become his head of business affairs, a department of one, mind you, since I'd also be his only business affairs executive, because as he confided in me, he was about to fire the person currently in the job. Now, I was honored to be asked, but I was happy at CBS, and I knew I had a good thing going there. Interesting work, opportunities for advancement. I really wasn't planning to leave. But I happened to mention to a few friends in the industry that this particular producer wanted me to work with him. Most of these friends, many a decade or so older than me, having worked in the business for a lot longer than I had, surprised me by saying that if they had been me, they would definitely be taking the opportunity seriously, far more seriously than I was taking it. They got in my head, I have to admit. I started to wonder, was I making a mistake by staying at CBS? To this day, the next few weeks still a blur to me. Just what you want to hear from somebody imparting wisdom on you, right? All I know for sure is that I let others, well-intentioned others, but still others, affect my judgment. I appreciated their advice, but they weren't me. Each of them had a different set of interests, preferences, experience, and risk tolerance. But I jumped, and the whole time I was negotiating my salary to work at the production company, something didn't feel right. When I asked for more money, I found myself secretly hoping that they would say no, to give me an easy out. Finally, I accepted the job and took a few weeks off to vacation in Hawaii. It was my first real vacation in years. I should have been relaxing, but instead, while reading or surfing or napping, I had a pit in my stomach, a feeling that something was wrong. Fast forward, I ended up quitting the new job less than a month after I started it. And really, I knew the very first day. It was the wrong fit, and I knew I would not succeed in an environment where I was completely on my own, with a boss who had expectations that I simply lacked the confidence to meet at that relatively early point in my career. This was August of 2009, incidentally. The stock market was way down. The Hollywood job market was as bad as I'd ever known it to be. So by quitting, I was taking a big chance. I was throwing myself into a world of uncertainty and giving myself a huge black mark, having left a secure job only to quit my next one just a month in. But as soon as I told my new boss how I was feeling, and to his credit, he admitted to me that he would have felt similarly in the job at my age. That feeling of dread in the pit of my stomach vanished. He wasn't a bad guy, it was just the wrong job for me. Even looking back, I can't be sure I did the right thing. How can anybody really know what a job will be like after just a few weeks? Was I underestimating myself, my boss, or just feeling cold feet after leaving a place I liked and felt comfortable? But here's what I do know. I felt better when I followed my gut. I was fortunate to land on my feet 2 months later, but even if it had taken longer, that would have been okay with me. I do my absolute best these days to follow my gut whenever I can, no matter what my friends say, no matter what makes the most sense on paper, no matter the money or the title or the so-called prestige of the opportunity. You, and only you, are the one who has to live with your decisions. So there's my wisdom. Ask questions. Follow your gut. Don't ever speculate about Betty White's vital status. And one more piece of advice as you go out into the world and start what I hope will be very fulfilling, rewarding careers. Keep in mind that you're not just building a resume. You're also, and more importantly, building a life. Your job is part of it for sure. For better or worse, you may end up spending a large portion of your waking hours at work, doing work, or at least thinking about work. But all the promotions in the world aren't going to mean anything if you don't also build a life outside of your work. This means different things to different people for sure. Could be starting a family, forming closer relationships with friends, athletic or intellectual pursuits, travel, public interest, charitable endeavors, even knitting if that's your thing. Just make sure it's something that feels worthwhile to you. I've seen time and time again that a life that is just a career is not a sustainably happy way to be. And so, to close, know this. more than success in your careers, I wish you all happiness in your lives. Thank you again to Dean Vaca, though I know he only invited me to speak because Betty White was not available to be here. And thank you all for listening to me. Once again, congratulations.
Thank you for your timely and thought-provoking remarks and advice. I now would like to ask Trustees Dimas and Wolford to escort Ted Mallow to the podium for the awarding of the Doctor of Laws. Our university order will recite the record of Ted Mallow's accomplishments. Dean Vaca.
Ted A. Mallow has been an active member of the University of Akron community for more than a half a century, participating in the life of the institution as a student, student athlete, student leader, alumnus, faculty member, administrator, chief legal counsel, and board officer. He was employed full-time with the University of Akron from 1969 until his retirement in 2016. Over the course of his illustrious career, Mr. Mallow served 8 university presidents and gained distinction as the longest continuously serving Assistant Attorney General and General Counsel among all Ohio State universities. On December 7th, 2016, the University of Akron Board of Trustees voted to confer on Mr. Mallow the titles of General Counsel Emeritus and Professor of Practice in recognition of his invaluable leadership, selfless dedication and service, and exemplary achievements. Mr. Mallow's history with the university began in 1962, when he enrolled for classes following graduation from South High School in Akron. Mr. Mallow eventually earned 3 degrees from the University of Akron: a Bachelor of Science degree in biology from the College of Arts and Sciences in 1967, a Master of Science in Educational Administration in 1968, and a Juris Doctor from the School of Law in 1972. He was admitted to the State of Ohio Bar in 1972, was admitted to practice before the United States District Court, Northern District in 1980, and was admitted to practice before the United States Supreme Court in 1983. He served as an Assistant Attorney General for the State of Ohio for 34 years, beginning in 1983. The role of educator made up a prominent part of Mr. Mallow's career. Beginning in 1967, when he was hired by the Akron Public School System as a licensed secondary school teacher in biology, chemistry, and physics. He joined the University of Akron in 1969 as an advisor to students. In 1972, he became director of the university's student legal programs, and in 1976, he was named director of the Office of Legal Affairs. Mr. Mallow eventually served as an adjunct associate professor in the University of Akron's College of Education, a member of the university's graduate faculty, and as an adjunct faculty member of Akron's School of Law. He was named UA's first general counsel and elected assistant secretary to the university's Board of Trustees in 1989. He was elected secretary to the board from 1994 till 2015, and again in 2016. Mr. Mallow served as the chief legal advisor to the president, the Board of Trustees, and university officers and administrators for 40 years. He also was the university's liaison officer for the Ohio Inspector General from 1993 until his retirement, and served as the university's industrial security supervisor. Mr. Mallow coordinated and directed the institution's legal affairs and assisted administrative units with the legal requirements or impact of actions or policies having legal significance to the management, operations, and other interests of the University of Akron. During his tenure as general counsel, Mr. Mallow supervised the defense or prosecution of all litigation matters involving the university, while also providing preventative and proactive legal direction in all matters involving university policies, legislation, contracts, acquisitions, employment policies and practices, law enforcement, etc. He directed or provided counsel on federal, state, and associational compliance reviews and investigations. Mr. Mallow has also been active in many community affairs and was elected 3 times to the Green Local School Board of Education, where he served as its president and vice president. Mr. Mallow and his wife, Joanne, reside in Green and have 3 grown children and 9 grandchildren. In recognition of his impressive professional accomplishments and exemplary service, Ted A. Mallow is presented to receive the degree of Doctor of Laws.
Greetings, distinguished colleague. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees and of the University of Akron in the state of Ohio, I now confer upon you, Ted A. Mallow, the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, with all the rights, privileges, duties, and responsibilities of that degree. As evidence of this, the highest honor the university has now bestowed upon you, the hood of Doctors of Law, and we would like to present you with an appropriately inscribed diploma. Congratulations. Members of the class of 2017, when I came to the University of Akron as dean in 2014, most of you were just starting your legal education. Given the timing and nature of your Akron experiences, I feel like I've developed a special bond with each one of you. So it's my privilege to share some brief remarks with you this afternoon. In fact, your experience here will always be a part of me, and I hope that I can continue to be part of your adventures as you move forward. So first and foremost, congratulations to each one of you. Make no mistake about it. What you have achieved here at Akron Law is truly remarkable. You've made it through your classes. You've experienced endless days, evenings, and weekends of study. You've even endured our construction, sorry about that, Quaker Square, and even Central Howard. From the bottom of my heart, though, I want to thank you for your patience and understanding as we've looked to renovate our facilities to give you and your colleagues an even better experience. Fortunately, though, at the same time, you've benefited from exceptional professors, great colleagues, loving deans, and staff. You've made friends for life. You've accumulated a lot of hands-on and practical experiences. In fact, there's more experiential learning opportunities now than ever before at Akron Law. There's been a major jump in various rankings, national recognitions, and greater visibility in Akron Law around the nations and the world. In fact, today is truly a great day in Akron as each one of you gets set to graduate and walk across this stage. As you know, I'm sure that I could stand here today for 30 minutes, 60 minutes, maybe even 90 if you know me, providing you with some thoughts and advice as you embark on your next adventure, at least your next adventure, which is taking the bar exam. However, I promise that I'll keep my advice clear and concise, because I'm sure that's what you learned in legal writing. In fact, I hope that what you've learned here at Akron Law is really clear and concise. So first and foremost, I'd like to encourage you to consider how you will employ the rights and privileges that accompany the Juris Doctor degree that you're going to receive here today. Starting now, you will face constant choices that will shape the lawyer you will become. Some of these choices will be momentous forks in the road. However, most of these choices will be small and simple things that relate to decisions about how you conduct yourself, how you carry out your responsibilities, what you say to somebody on the phone, in an email, or face-to-face, and how generally you interact with others. If I had a blank canvas and I could paint your future path based on my own career as a lawyer, my palette would consist of integrity, respect for others, tolerance, compassion, the ability and the willingness to listen and understand, hope, active engagement, ethical conduct, thorough preparation, and a constant mindset of service. As individuals neglect to focus on others and increasingly focus on themselves in today's world, our society will continue to move in reverse. In fact, the choices that you make will affect not only you and your family, but also your clients, also your profession, and which direction society will go. As graduates of this great law school, you are destined to become leaders in this profession and society as a whole, whether you intend to practice law formally or not. Regardless of the path you choose, though, don't let discouragement, temptation, the media, or the noise of others' opinions drown out your conscience, your heart, and your intuition, or as you heard, your gut. Remember to keep your head high, enjoy life, and don't let others get you down. In the words of Ralph Waldo Emerson, to be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. In closing, if you leave with anything today, I hope you'll leave with this. You should feel assured that the educational experience that you received here at Akron Law, along with the friendships that you have made during these last few years, have prepared you not only for a wonderful career in law and other disciplines, but they've also provided you with the ability to deal with unexpected challenges that life will most certainly throw your way. As you move forward, make sure that you always leave people better than you found them. Hug the hurt, kiss the broken, befriend the lost, love the lonely. I wish you all the best of luck going forward and hope to strengthen our friendship going forward. On behalf of the University of Akron School of Law Familyware, I salute each one of you, together with your families, your friends who have helped make your success possible. Congratulations again. Good luck, graduates.
Now, graduates, families, and friends, colleagues, we are about to participate in and witness a significant rite of passage. In rites of passage, we celebrate together, gathering in community with those who love and support us, and those who have brought us to this moment of change makes the transition even more meaningful. Coming together as a community calls us to our purpose, reminds us we do not reach our goals alone, and signifies that what we celebrate here today is greater than our individual accomplishments. We are proud to be a law school of access and opportunity, with a faculty and staff devoted to preparing each of you to realize your goals. The Juris Doctor graduating class of 2017 was originally composed of 80 full-time students entering in the fall of 2014 and 44 part-time students entering in the fall of 2013, for a total of 124 students. You came from Ohio, 23 other states, including California, Colorado, New York, Texas, Florida, and Arizona, and 6 other countries, including China, Nigeria, and Pakistan, with a wide range of experiences and background. In your years here, you forged friendships, professional bonds, and left your marks on our law school culture. Today, 120 of you celebrate the awarding of your Juris Doctor degree. 2 of you are receiving your JD and LLM in intellectual property at the same time. 37 of you are earning certificates, 15 in intellectual property, 15 in litigation, and 7 in health law. All of you have contributed to making the University of Akron School of Law what it is, and you will continue to shape our community as alumni. After you leave here today, you will follow separate paths. A number of you will relocate and begin studying for the bar in states as far-flung as California, Utah, Arizona, Florida, and New York. Some of you will begin immediately to practice law. I am proud to announce that many of you who completed your degrees in January have already passed the rigorous Ohio bar examination and been sworn in as new lawyers, Will our newly admitted lawyers here today please rise so we can recognize and congratulate you? Thank you. You may now be seated. Unfortunately, as you know, we lost 2 of your colleagues this past year. Each had nearly completed their Juris Doctor degrees before they passed away, and we honor their memory and their dedication to the challenging and rigorous programs they pursued by awarding their degrees posthumously. Stephen Kirby's Juris Doctor degree was presented privately earlier this month. We will posthumously award the Juris Doctor degree to John Goodwin today. Both were valued members of the class and will be missed as members of the profession. Class of 2017, through hard work, you have earned a legal education that can endow you with great power to affect people and events. People will come to you and need you. Your power comes with the responsibility to use it wisely. Learn to balance your role as guardian and protector with your role as facilitator and innovator. In your time here, you have proven your commitment to service. Every one of you contributed pro bono service hours. 2 students will receive the Pro Bono Award, sponsored by the law firm of Parentinitis and Nolan, for their inspirational example of volunteer public service. They will be recognized for this honor as each crosses the stage. As a class, you contributed a total of 6,070 hours of pro bono and community service, 3,503 of them in service to those of limited means. I imagine many more hours of community service were provided, but simply not reported. We trust you will continue this impressive dedication to the highest ideals of our profession. Today, you stand at a cusp, able to focus on what you have completed well and what you are beginning. You are setting sail accompanied with great expectations, and we trust that you will fulfill those expectations honorably. Your alma mater will now become the wind in your sails. Because you are a part of us, we hope that the wind will blow you back home to us from time to time. My best wishes to you. I now invite University Provost Rex Ramsier to present the candidates to receive their degrees. Provost Ramsier.
Will the candidates for the Joint Juris Doctor, Master of Law, and Intellectual Property, and the candidates for the Juris Doctor degree please rise? President Wilson, these students have successfully completed the course of study prescribed by the faculty of the School of Law for the JD LLM or the JD degrees, and have been recommended by the law faculty and approved by the Board of Trustees as worthy of the JD LLM and JD degrees. I now present them to you so that you may confer these degrees upon them.
Exercising the authority of the trustees of the University of Akron, legally vested by the people of the state of Ohio, and upon the recommendation of the faculty of the university, I now confer upon you, who have fulfilled the highest requirements of this university, the Joint Juris Doctor, Master of Law and Intellectual Property, or the Juris Doctor degree, with all the rights, privileges, duties, and responsibilities of that degree. As evidence of this remarkable achievement, you will now be vested with the hood of the LLM or Juris Doctor and receive the appropriately inscribed diploma. Please come forward at the direction of the Associate Marshals.
In appreciation and respect for all our graduates, we ask that you hold your applause and any acknowledgments of your individual student so that our graduates and their guests are able to hear their names read. Raymond J. Hartzo. Hobart J. Wingard. Zachary S. Arnold, cum laude. Rachel L. Oftenkamp. John M. Bartolotta. Brett R. Bentz. Douglas Coleman Bond, cum laude. Joseph Bonish IV. Ashley A. Roller. Gianna M. Calzola. Abby Christine Chandler, cum laude. Adriana C. Chatala. Amanda M. Conley, cum laude. Kyle A. Kramer, magna cum laude. Joseph G. Daher. Mario V. D'Alessandro. Brandon Davis. Francis P. De La Serna. Michael Dominic De Mateus, magna cum laude. Andres Diaz, cum laude. Rachel A. Driscoll, cum laude. Christopher P. Edwards, magna cum laude. Michelle M. Fabry, cum laude. Amy V. Fetchko, cum laude. Caleb R. Fodor. Barry J. Franks. Peter J. Gitanes. Gitano. Eric Matthew Gamarino. Jeremy T. Gilpatrick, cum laude, and recipient of the Pro Bono Award. Marcos M. Gonzalez. Samuel Mark Goodwater. John W. Goodwin Jr. John's sister, Amy Williams, will be accepting his diploma. Francis A. Grandy. Lee M. Grosscup. Nathaniel J. Gugliotta. Danielle J. Halachoff, summa cum laude. Sean R. Hartong. Michelle D. Hines. Chad Hoover Hernstein, summa cum laude. Robert S. Hewitt, Pro Bono Award recipient. Austin R. Holopeter. John F. Holsinger, cum laude. Bryce E. Hormansky. Jennifer E. Hormansky. Clinton J. Householder, cum laude. William E. Josman. Julie A. Jackmedes. Anthony George Karam Jr. Martin L. Kerr. Gerald M. Kovalin. Lisa M. Light. Joshua T. Lively. Matthew J. Ludwig, summa cum laude. Sarah E. Lynch, magna cum laude. Haley Kyle Martinelli, cum laude. Kenneth A. Maurer, Jr. Samuel A. Meadows. Aaron M. Mikul, cum laude. Douglas D. Mosley, cum laude. Jacob P. Nichols, cum laude. Nathan E. Noli. Doreen Orsafode Darko. Chelsea M. Polisek. Dominic M. Parrish, cum laude. Ankita Patel. Ivan Petrovic. Maggie C. Petrush, summa cum laude. Michael F. Podolsky, summa cum laude. Brett D. Pollock. Bradford M. Puck. Farisa Mazar Rana, Pro Bono Award recipient. Jennifer M. Rigetti, magna cum laude. Drew C. Riley. William E. Reininger, summa cum laude. Kimberly Michelle Rippeth, summa cum laude. Tiffany R. Ross. William E. Ryan, magna cum laude. Dana R. Saporito, summa cum laude. Rebecca J. Schreiner, summa cum laude and editor-in-chief of the Akron Law Review. Tristan R. Seri, magna cum laude. Danielle K. Schaefer, magna cum laude. Kelly E. Sharp. Jeffrey D. Shermer. Maninder K. Sidhu. John A. Simpson. Matthew A. Smartnick, cum laude. Andrea L. Sokol. Stephen M. Spalding, cum laude. Kenton H. Steele, summa cum laude. Thomas A. Stickford, magna cum laude. Brock E. Sutek. Andrew C. Triplett, pro bono award recipient. Anthony L. Vinci Jr., summa cum laude. Mark A. Wagner, summa cum laude. Joshua M. Walker. Pierce C. Walker. Andrew L. Weiss. Emily Christine Williams. Melanie F. Wilmer. Brad M. Zebedis, magna cum laude. Jesse L. Ziska.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud to present to you the University of Akron School of Law, class of 2017. Now, I heard a lot of love, I heard some shouts, I heard a lot of joy. This morning on the radio, I was listening to one of those talk programs that was shedding some light on what it takes to become a master of your trade. And research shows that over 10,000 hours is needed of practice, of research, of study. And truly, I think that the class here sitting before you has invested more than 10,000 hours. So now's the time for you to let it rip and roar and give them another shout out. Congratulations.
I think they love you. They- All right. The Donald M. and Mary E. Jenkins Award for Highest Scholastic Achievement is presented to the graduate with the highest grade point average for work on this campus, culminating in the Juris Doctor degree, and honors former Dean and Professor Emeritus Donald M. Jenkins, a graduate of the class of 1964, for his dedicated leadership toward academic excellence. This year's recipient of the Donald M. and Mary E. Jenkins Award is Michael F. Podolsky. Mr. Podolsky, please come forward. Michael is from Canfield, Ohio. He earned his bachelor's degree in finance from Youngstown State University. He began at Akron Law in August 2014, making the Dean's List every semester. Michael earned the Ernest Karam Award for Academic Excellence, served on the editorial board of the Akron Law Review, earned Cali Awards for 9 courses, and completed a joint degree, earning his MBA from the College of Business Administration. He will soon join the Cleveland office of Jones Day as an associate. Today, he graduates summa cum laude with a final grade point average of 4.0. We have a certificate for you, and it's supposed to be here. Someone's going to bring it. Hang on a moment. It's supposed to be on a table here. It's coming. It's in the mail. I like that. It's in the mail. All right. We will present it to you after. It's in the mail. Congratulations. I now call forward Editor-in-Chief of the Akron Law Review, Rebecca Schreiner, to present the 2017 class gift, as well as Student Bar Association President Haley Martinelli to present the Outstanding Professor of the Year Award.
Each year, the graduating class contributes a gift to begin their legacy as Akron Law alumni and to memorialize their class to those who will grace the classrooms and corridors of the School of Law long after we leave. The money raised from this year's class gift campaign will be contributed to the Emergency Scholarship Fund. If you've not already contributed to the class gift, you may do so by returning the class gift donation form that is included as a part of an informational packet for graduates, which you will receive by email. Thank you.
Each year, the graduating class presents the Outstanding Professor of the Year Award to recognize the faculty member whose instruction and presence hold special meaning to the graduating class. This year's finalists are Professor Marty Belsky, Professor Dana Cole, Professor Alan Newman, and Professor Tracy Thomas. Each of these professors is remarkable, teaching with passion and enthusiasm that inspires us students to develop a great appreciation of the law. Unfortunately, we are limited to just one award. For all he has done for the University of Akron, the School of Law, and specifically for all he has done for this graduating class, as a mentor both within the classroom and beyond, it is my honor to announce that the class of 2017 presents this year's Outstanding Professor of the Year Award to Professor Dana Cole. Professor Cole is currently leading a group of students on a study abroad program in Ireland, so we will present this award to him upon his return.
So it is now my pleasure to introduce the president of the School of Law Alumni Association, Ms. Megan France Oldham. Megan France Oldham graduated from the University of Akron School of Law in 2005 and is a partner at the law firm of Zengis, Placus, Manos, located in Akron and Canton. Her legal practice focuses on litigation, primarily in the area of personal injury, wrongful death, medical malpractice, and nursing home negligence. She's been named a Rising Star every year since 2010 by Law and Politics magazine. And Ms. France Oldham is on the executive board of the Ohio Association for Justice. Please join me in welcoming the president of the School of Law Alumni Association, Ms. Megan France Oldham.
Thank you, Dean Vaca. Many congratulations to all the graduates and their supporters and believers. This class is particularly close to my heart for a variety of reasons, including I have many good friends graduating today. I know what you went through, and you made it. Think back to the first day of orientation and how clueless you were. At least I was. And here you are, much wiser, and a law school graduate. Now that you are officially alumni, you share a common bond with more than 8,000 other graduates of Akron Law. I welcome you on behalf of the Akron Law Alumni Association Board and the rest of your fellow alumni. The vibrancy of the Alumni Association depends on you, and your fresh perspective is welcome. While you may be leaving behind torts classes or final exams, you are not leaving Akron Law behind. We will always be there for you. A vast network of Akron Law alumni is available to support you in your personal and professional endeavors. It is my charge as the president of the Akron Law Alumni Association Board to make sure that you tap that resource and that the alumni network is in a position to provide you, your fellow alumni, and our alma mater with all that we need for continued success. We cannot wait to see the great things that you will do. Revel in the excitement of today, a significance, and a day when you and your classmates, friends, and family celebrate your accomplishments and achievements. Savor this day. Never doubt, even for a moment, your ability to succeed. I distinctively remember sitting in your seat 12 years ago. I had no idea what the future held for me, other than I was excited. I had no idea that I would marry a fellow Akron Law alumni. I had no idea that many of my lasting friendships would be with fellow Akron Law alumni. And I had no idea that many of my work relationships, whether it be coworkers, opposing counsel, judges, referral sources, and confidants, would be fellow Akron Law alumni. And I had no idea that my path would lead me back to the Akron Law School, such that I would serve on the alumni board. And the same thing is true for you right now. You do not know where your path will lead you. But I do charge to each of you, regardless of where your path takes you, to stay active in Akron Law activities as alumni, stay true to what this institution and your time here has taught you, and stay generous with your time, energy, and treasure. If you do that, I promise that you will receive back tenfold. My warmest wishes go forward with all of you. And once again, congratulations.
Thank you, Ms. Franz Oldham. Mr. President, will you lead us in the closing of the ceremony?
Ladies and gentlemen, I now invite you to join Professor Carolyn Dessen in the singing of our alma mater. You can find the words printed in your program. Will you all please rise?
Close beside Cuyahoga's waters, stream of amber hue, o'er old Buckle summit's glory waves the gold and blue. Hail we Akron, sound her praises, speed them o'er the gale. Ever stand our alma mater, Akron hail, all hail.
You can be seated. Let us now express our appreciation to the musicians whose talent have enhanced this ceremony. We appreciate our vocalist, Professor Carolyn Dessen, our guitarist, Mr. Tyler Splizzo, who accompanied all of the graduates as they crossed the stage, and Mr. Tucker Jolly and the University of Akron Brass Choir. I'd also like to acknowledge our interpreters, Lori Palmer and Erica Wilson, for their important efforts today. Immediately following the recessional, all of you are invited to attend a reception in the Goodrich lobby. And so, we now conclude our commencement ceremony. On behalf of the trustees, faculty, the University of Akron family everywhere, I wish you much happiness, much success, and many happy returns to your alma mater.
Will the stage party please rise? We ask our graduates to rise and remain standing. Guests of graduates, please remain seated until our recessional has concluded. We also suggest that you meet your graduate in the Goodrich lobby following the recession. Thank you for attending the 93rd commencement exercises of the University of Akron School of Law. Thank you.